Hello guys, welcome to Anita Crochets. My name is Anita. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make this ruffle skirt, and it's very simple. But to get started, I'm going to be working with ribbon 100% acrylic, and it is chunky. The weight is 100 grams, so it's 100 grams in weight, and this is how it looks like. So I'll be using a 6mm hook for this project, and you'll need a pair of scissors too. So this is the skirt we are going to be making, and I'm just going to be working a very small sample for you guys to get to see the whole procedure and how to come up with these kind of ruffles that have this sort of like line in between, and some facing up and the others facing down. So I'm going to start off with a knot. This is my yarn, and okay, I'm going to start off with a knot like this. And if you're working for a size small, you will chain 70. If you're working for a size medium, you'll chain 80. If you're working for a size large, you will chain 100. If you're working for an extra large, you will chain 120. That's if you're not a tight crocheter. So I'm just going to make a few chains so that you all can get to understand what to do to come up with this kind of skirt. So given the number of chains you have to work for your skirt in accordance to the size you are making, when you come to the end of those chains, you are going to work a slip stitch into the very first chain stitch like this, and then you'll chain 2, and into this very first stitch you're going to work a half double crochet like that, and into the next chain stitch you will work a half double crochet like that. Into the next you'll do the same. So literally we are going to be working 1 half double crochet into every stitch until we come to the end of this row, and once there you are going to work a slip stitch in the very first 2 chains that we started with when we were starting this row. And you will that will mark the end of your row. So let me meet you at the end of the row when you have all your half double crochets done up to here, and work the slip stitch, and you're heading for your second row. So I have my first row complete, and I'm going to work 2 chains and then turn my work, and into this very first stitch I am going to work a half double crochet. Into the next I'll work a half double crochet, and I'm just going to continue working half double crochets until I come to the end of this row. Literally there is nothing to change about what you did in on the first row and on this row. So literally you're just going to do the same, and you're going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch for a total of 3 rows. So if we have 1 row complete and 2 rows complete, before we can start any increase we have to have 3 rows of plain half double crochets. Like you can see here, before I worked this part of the waist, I worked 1 2 3 rows before I started to work an increase. Like you can see here, they are like 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. So you work 1 2 3 rows before you can start an increase. So let me meet you when you have all your 3 rows complete, and I'll show you how to work your increases and the whole body of the skirt, and then we can get to the ruffles. So I have my 3 rows complete. This is 1 2 3. So I'm going to chain 2 and turn my work. I have counted my stitches and I have 27 of them. I don't know how many you have, so given the number of chains you have all the way around, you are going to divide the total number of stitches you have by 2, dividing 20, what I have 27 by 2. I'll definitely be working an increase in the 14th stitch. So to start from here, I'm going to work a half double crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So in this 14th stitch, I'm going to work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch, like that. So this is our very first increase, and as you can see on the skirt, to have it have this shape of a normal human body, we work an increase. So the inches here are not the inches here. So because we started working an increase from right here, and then it came like this. All right, so it got that sort of like curve. So here you should have an increase whereby the skirt is going to expand like this. All right, so that's why we work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch, and you will continue working 1 half double crochet into every stitch until you come to the end of the row. And in the very last stitch is where we are going to also work an increase, because we are increasing on the hip side. So you are going to work 2 half double crochets in the very last stitch, and that is right here. So here we work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch, and then you'll work a slip stitch like this. Chain 2, turn your work. As I always tell you, we work 2 rows of an increase and 2 normal rows, 2 rows of an increase and 2 normal rows. That happens even for the decrease, 2 rows of a decrease and 2 normal rows. So this second row is going to be also for an increase, and I'm going to work a half double crochet in this very first stitch. And now, as you can see, I worked an increase here, so there are 2 double crochets, 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. That means into this stitch I am going to work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch, like that. So I'll continue working 1 half double crochet into every stitch until I come to the end of the row. Sorry, until I get to the second increase of this row. So this is where I made an increase. And once I get there, right here, I am going to work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. So I have our second increase done. All right, and then I'll continue working 1 half double crochet into every stitch until I come to the end of the row. So I've come to the end of my row, and here I'll work a slip stitch, and I'll chain 2 and turn my work. All right, now into this very first stitch I'm going to work a half double crochet, and into the next I'll work 1 half double crochet, and I'm going to continue working 1 half double crochet into every row, because I told you 2 rows of an increase and 2 normal rows. So literally we are going to work 1/2 double crochet into every row, into every stitch, until we come to the end, work a slip stitch and do the same for the next row as well. So we need 2 normal rows without any increases. And let me meet you after I have your 2 normal rows complete, and then we can work our second set of increases, and from there we can see about the whole body of the skirt. So let me meet you after that and show you what to do. So I have my 2 normal rows complete, and I've already chained 2 and turned my work. So here I've counted my stitches. Initially I had 27. This time I have 31 altogether. So that means I'm going to be working an increase in the 16th stitch. So into this very first stitch I'll work a 1/2 double crochet. And I'm going to count all my stitches until I have 16 of them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and this is the 16th. So I'm going to work 2 1/2 double crochets in this very same stitch, like this. And now I'm going to continue working 1/2 double crochet into every stitch until I come back all the way into the very last stitch. And in the very last stitch I am going to work 2 1/2 double crochets to make my increase. So literally I'm just going to go on with 1 1/2 double crochet into every stitch until I come to the end. And in the very last stitch, it's where I'm going to work 2 1/2 double crochets to end my row, and I'll work a slip stitch and then just make sure that I've ended the row and chain 2. So here we are. This is my very last stitch. I'll work 2 1/2 double crochets, and then I'll work a slip stitch right there, chain 2, turn my work. So now I'm going to start to work the second increase of our second set of increases. So I'll work a 1/2 double crochet in the very first stitch. Into this next one I am going to work 2 1/2 double crochets. All right, so I'm going to work 1 1/2 double crochet into every stitch until I come back right here where I made an increase right here. And here I'm going to work 2 1/2 double crochets in the very same stitch. And from there I'll just work 1 1/2 double crochet into every stitch until I come to the end of the row, work a slip stitch, chain 2, and turn my work. And for these skirts I usually advise you just increase twice. All right, because sometimes when you make more numbers of increments, you'll find that you are going to have something that really fits the waist, but then it gets loose in the hips, and that's not what we want. We want something that is really body fitting. So here I worked my 2 1/2 double crochets in the very same stitch right there. So I'm just going to work 1 1/2 double crochet until I come to the end of the row, and from there I'm going to show you what to do next. As you can see, it's already expanding, and that's exactly how we want our skirt to be. So looking at my skirt, I had my first increase right there. As you can see, there are 2 1/2 double crochets, and then another increase right here, 2 1/2 double crochets in the very same stitch, and I made 2 normal rows without making any increases. And right here I made an increase. You can see 2 1/2 double crochets in the same stitch, and right there I had 2 1/2 double crochets in the very same stitch. And now from there, when you have your second set of increase, you are going to just work normal rows all the way down without making any increases. So literally from here, let me see, it was right there. So from here, you're going to work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So literally you are going to work 24 rows from here all the way down to have the body of the skirt complete. And when I come back, I am going to show you how to work the ruffles. So literally just work your 24 rows all the way from here up to down. Please do not make any more increments. The increases you have made are just enough, because at the end of the day, the half double crochet stitch gives us a very huge stretch to the skirt, as you can see. All right, so don't make any more increases. What we have made is just enough. Just work your 24 rows all the way down, and I'll get back to show you how to work the ruffles and how to work the waist. So once you have your 24 rows ready, this is how you're going to work your ruffles. So the first tier of the ruffles is going to look like this. It is the one that faces down, and as you can see, my very first row was worked from the inside and my very last row was worked from the outside. All right, so that means for this very first row of double crochets for the ruffles, we are going to work it from the inside. All right, so turn your work and into the inside. That's where you're going to work your very first double crochet. All right, and you're going to work 3 double crochets into every stitch. So those are 2, and the last one makes it 3. So we have 3, and into the very next you're going to work 3 of them as well. 3 double crochets in the very same stitch. So you see, so just go on and on working 3 double crochets in the very same stitch like this. Please make sure you're working this on the inside. All right, and then go on work. I shared this ruffle skirt, the ruffle stitch tip in a very long post I shared some time back. So if you missed out on it, you can just go to my story highlights on Instagram and check it out. You can read through and get to know why I advise whenever you're working the ruffles and you want them to face down. There is an explanation in there why I advise you work the first row from the inside and the last one from the outside. It gives the ruffles a position to where to face. There are some ruffles you want them to face down, and the others you just want them to like hang up like this. So literally there is a whole explanation in my story highlights on Instagram. You just go and check out my question and answer story highlights and read through. You will get the whole explanation in there. So just work 3 double crochets into every stitch until you come to the end right here, and that's where I'm going to meet you and show you what to do next. So this is how your ruffles have to look like when you have 3 double crochets into every stitch. So this is how it has to look like. Now, like I told you, I've been working this from the inside, so this time I am going to chain 2 and make sure I am working my very last row for the ruffles that are facing down on the outside. So literally in this very first stitch, you just try to make your way into it. So I'm going to work a double crochet and into the next stitch I am going to work 1 double crochet. Into the next I'll work 1 double crochet as well. So literally for this whole row you're going to just work 1 double crochet into every stitch until you come to the end of the row. So just work 1 double crochet into every stitch until you have come to the end of the row, and when I come back I'll show you how to work the ruffles that face up. Right, so just work 1 double crochet into every stitch until you come to the end of the row. So as you can see, I have come to the end of my second row of just normal double crochet, and I'll cut my yarn from here and just secure this like this. So you can just have this disappear within all the way around until you have it all just disappeared within. So to start the second row, sorry, the second tier, like you see in this skirt, I have this that faces down and then this that faces up. So I have the one that faces down complete, and now I just have to have the second one that faces up like this also done. And now that's where the trick is. So just to also show you now for the second one, you can see that my very first row, okay, inside, this was on the inside. So my very first row, as you can see, was also worked from the inside, and this was worked from the outside like this, so it can remain onto this like this. That's why it's on the outside. So to get started, this is where the tricky part is, because now there is something I need to show you clearly so you all can be in position to see. Now this was our half double crochet stitch, all right? So we are just going to find our way into this loop, all right? Please do not put it here, put it just in between here, all right? Let me just get this closer. So this is our half double crochet, just like these are, but then there is this gap in between, all right? Just like this is the half double crochet, and then there is this gap in between, all right? So literally just the same. It is this that is our half double crochet stitch, but then there is this loop that is just in between there. That's where we are going to get our hook into and get our yarn, loop it onto the hook, and then chain 2 to start. And now you are going to always go at the back of this loop and work a double crochet, and then go back at the yarn over, go back at the back of the loop and work a half double crochet like that. Go back at the back of the loop, work, sorry, a double crochet. It's a double crochet, all right? But now, okay, this is a mistake I have done. So literally, when we were making this row, we were heading, let me see, we started from here and headed this way. So if we are working the ruffles that are going to face up, we are going to start from here in this loop and head this way. We are going to head this way because I want it to slip over, and if we head this way we are going to make it slip down. So I want it to face up. So I'm just going to get my yarn and chain 2, all right, and get to the back of the loop. So Yarn over, get at the back of the loop and work a double crochet. Yarn over, get at the back of the loop, work a double crochet. Those are 2. Yarn over, get at the back of the loop, make a double crochet. Now you see that it is facing up. It is not, if you head this side, it's going to face down, and I want it to face up, so you have to head this side like this and go around. Now right here we are going to make our way into this loop. This is the next loop. All right, so right there we are going to get at the back of the loop and work a double crochet. Insert your hook right there, work a double crochet, get into that loop, work a double crochet. All right, yarn over. Those are 3 double crochets in the very same stitch. Now you already can tell where to put your hook. All right, it is right there. So here you are going to also just do the same, work 3 double crochets in the very same stitch like that. All right, now get here right there. You see, so you already can see where to loop. The next will be here, the next will be there, the next will be there. So you already can tell where you have to work your double crochets, and you will work 3 double crochets in the very same stitch, and you see it's already facing up, and we want it to look like that, just like the skirt looks like right here. You see the ruffle, one facing up and the other facing down. So you are just going to continue doing that, working 3 double crochets into every stitch until you come to the end right there. Until you come to the end of the row, you'll work a slip stitch, chain 2, and that's where I'm going to meet you and show you what to do next. Then we can mark the end of this tutorial. So this is what we have. As you can see, I worked heading this side because I wanted it to face up. So if you want an effect like the black skirt, this is where you stop and then come to the waist and just work double crochets all the way around, just to have your waistband complete. And you can add a drawstring, but if you want it to look just like this skirt, you are going to work the second row of just plain double crochet all the way around without making any increases. So literally from here you're going to chain 2, and please make sure you're working this on the outside. So in the very first stitch you're going to work a double crochet and work a double crochet in the next stitch. So literally just keep working 1 double crochet into every stitch until you come to the end of the row. Once you're in the last stitch, you're going to work a slip stitch into the chains that we started with, and then cut your yarn. All right, now from here I'll just stop here so you can just continue with what you have to do. From here you will head over to your waist using the very same hook, and just find a spot where you can start from. Get your yarn onto the hook and then yarn through, chain 2, and work a double crochet into this very first stitch like that. Now this is just for the waist, so you work a double crochet right there, and into the next stitch you're going to work a double crochet. Continue working 1 double crochet into every stitch like this until you come to the end of the row, and that will give you this sort of result right here. That is for this waist. All right, so you work 1 double crochet into every stitch until you come to the end. Once at the end you're going to cut your yarn, make it disappear within, and you'll get your string and just now start passing it all through. That's for your drawstring, and once you have that complete, I'll say you now know how to make this two-tier ruffle skirt. Thank you for watching my tutorials. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, Nita Crochets, on Snapchat, Chic Crochet, on Twitter, Crochet Duchess. I'll see you all in my next tutorial. Goodbye.